to an equally important subject, but a little bit more serious. More than 20 suspects have been picked up in the old Fadama demolition protest. The arrest follows various damages caused to property by protesting displaced residents of Sodom and Gomorrah who headed to the State House yesterday to speak to the president because they wanted him to halt the ongoing demolition, which was sanctioned by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Superintendent of Police is Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, and well, when we raise him over the telephone, we'll bring you that conversation. But as of yesterday on the grounds, Joy News spoke with Accra Region Police PRO, Ifiatinge.
The police has arrested about 20 men who were vandalizing properties around, blocking roads, trying to cause mayhem here at Agbogboshi. So for now, they are in police custody and they are going to assist us in our investigations.
And let us see, what exactly were they doing, and what exact location did you arrest them?
Yes, they were here, and you could see that they were pelting stones at people, even with a number of instructions from the police trying to calm them down. They disobeyed all those orders, and they were still pelting stones, burning ties, trying to vandalize police properties and everything around. And it was an eyesore, actually. So the police had to really get these people arrested, and we had 20 of them being arrested.
And the sense we get is that these men were part of the protesters.
Of course, that is it. For now, you see, we were causing a lot of mayhem here, and looking at what has been, the development so far from the morning to this time, even with the police presence, with the verbal commands and what have you, these people disregarded all this, and they were continuing in the process of trying to, destroy properties and the rest. We can't look on for that to happen. For public control, you can not predict anything could happen, so we were ready for them, and we even had to fire tear gas, looking at the stones and the objects and anything they could lay hands on. Even some of our police personnel even getting injured in the process, and our vehicles also being destroyed. So we had no other alternative than for them to be arrested.
And these police officials you talk about who have been injured, about how many of them, how severe are the injuries?
I don't know the number now, but I saw a couple of them, with wounds.
When you say a couple of them, about how many?
About 3 for now. That is after the whole incident, that probably will be able to sit down to assess the situation and count some of these injuries.
Let's get over to the phone line and speak with Superintendent Cephas Arthur, who speaks for the Ghana Police Service. Good morning, Superintendent Arthur.
Yeah, good morning.
Now, where are these persons you picked up yesterday?
Hello?
Yeah, we understand that you made about 20 arrests yesterday. You arrested 20 persons. Where are these persons now?
Yeah, good morning. Let me say that the number has swollen to 35 this morning. The last time I checked, the persons, the suspects were with the police at Accra region, being investigated. We are building our docket, trying to gather evidence so we can put them before court. So we are handling the case. We are conducting investigations to ensure that those who are found to be culpable are put in court.
Now, let's look at who these people are and the reasons you arrested them. Over several hundreds of people thronged the State House yesterday, but you arrested 35 of them. Who are these persons you arrested?
We are not even limiting it to the State House alone. The main issue started from Agbogboshi, where some individuals decided to kick the laws of the land in the face by embarking on demonstration without first notifying the police at least 5 days before the event, as stipulated by the Public Order Act. Having even embarked on that illegal demonstration, they committed further crimes by blocking public ways, setting fire to tires and other items in the way, and engaging in acts of pandemonium, destroying police vehicles, pelting security officers with stones and other things. So we needed to effect arrest. You can't pick all of them. Thousands of people who were embarking upon the demonstration. You can't pick all of them. And even the public order asked the police if they have even responded to it. That when you lead any group of persons to embark upon demonstration, you are liable for whatever will happen. And when you are policing demonstrations like this and it turns rowdy, you pick main persons, henchmen, people playing active roles, and leaders. You pick them for the necessary action. So that is what we did.
In other words, Superintendent, these 35 persons are would constitute the leadership of those old Fadama residents who embarked on the demonstration yesterday.
We see them as people who are playing active roles and who are playing leadership roles. Some of them playing active and leadership roles in the demonstration. So,
have you officially charged them?
The last time I checked, no. We're still conducting further investigation. Perhaps that could even lead to some more persons being picked up. But before long, the Legal and Prosecution Department of the Service would come out with some charges against them, and then we'll put them before court.
Okay, and so these people were generally, like you said, taking an active role in the demonstration. What charges would you prefer against them?
That is what I've already alluded to. That is for the experts, the Legal and Prosecution Department. They will go into the Criminal and Other Offences Act, and then they will ascribe the appropriate punishment. But on the surface, any layman could talk about breaking the laws of the land. That is Public Order Act 491 of 1994, embarking on demonstration without notification. You could also decipher causing damage. You can also decipher causing harm, causing public disturbances, blocking public waste. These are all possible charges that can be distilled.
Let's talk about today and what the police will be doing. What should we expect the police to do, especially in the areas that were affected by the demonstration? We're talking Agbogbloshie, we're talking State House. What are we expecting the police to do?
Mainly Agbogbloshie. We have police deployment there, heavy police deployment there, taking care of the situation to ensure that it doesn't kind of resuscitate and bring some hardship to the people who are going about their legitimate business over there. So the police deployment is heavily over there. Police have their deployment at other places to public installations. And we have our eyes and ears also on the ground, checking pieces of information for analysis and necessary.
Which public installations have you positioned at?
Oh, we don't need to list the kind of public installations that we have and the ones that we think are crucial on air. But
very well. Let's do this quickly. At State House, some vandalism went on. Some buses have been parked at Parliament for a while now were also vandalized. Who takes the fall for that?
We did what?
I'm saying that buses that have been parked at the forecourt of Parliament for a long time now were also vandalized by the demonstrators. My question is, who takes the fall for that?
Who takes the...
How is the police going to deal with that?
Oh, well, investigation will also go into all those places. If indeed anybody is found to have been involved in the vandalism, then the person will be held for it according to the law. I also indicated that some police vehicles were vandalized. They are state property. So if at the end of the investigation anybody is found to have had a hand in the vandalism of the state property, then the person will be held accordingly. For that, the laws are there to determine who should do what and who is liable for what and what should be done to the person.
Very well. We'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much, Superintendent Cephas Arthur speaks for the Ghana Police Service. Now, Joy News' Derek Okosam has been to the area to find out how residents are coping with the demolition. A number of them are talking to him, have been talking to him and explaining the effects of the demolition on them.
For me, I'm a Muslim, so because of that, I'm sleeping in the mosque. We don't have anywhere that we can sleep. Just that we are sleeping at the mosque. That is where they have left those ones for us so that we can stay there. And some of the people are even sleeping anywhere. There's no place for us to. Even when it rains, this rain will fall on us. We don't have. Really, we are feeling very, very bad here.
Do you feel dejected?
Yes. We feel that maybe some of us we are suffering here, especially this morning. A lot of people are suffering. There's no place for them, even water. There's no anything for us to.
So we were in the room when they just said people were just running after. So we also rushed out and it happened like that. So we couldn't even remove our things because of that. Even I'm a student. I'm a student at Tamale Government Secretariat School. So we have long back. So I came to just get something and then go back and then. So it happened that even some of my things are even there. So I don't know what to do. So for now, I'm living with a friend of mine. She's even safe. So I'm now with her.
Like as I'm telling you right now, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to enter. Understand?
But you've been for over a year.
Yeah. So
what actually brought you to this place?
Because of I came for business. Yeah, and the place that we are doing business is a scrap place. Understand?
Scrap dealer.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I'm telling you, even to me to eat self is very hard. Understand? Because this is the place that we used to get something to eat. Even there are small kids here. Understand? Some of them is this place. They used to give them food. Understand? These chickens that you see now, they go, they scatter everything.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Local Government Minister Neelanti Vanderpoy has admitted to Joy News that the Accra Metropolitan Assembly went beyond the limits in demolition structures at Sodom and Gomorrah. The Deputy Minister was speaking on Newsnight with Joy FM's Evans Mensah.
The scope of doing what had been agreed upon, that the AMA in one way or the other had gone beyond the limits which they proposed. The AMA agreed with them that they were going to sacrifice 50 meters on each side of the Korle Lagoon. So they themselves agreed to work together with the AMA. In the course of doing that work, the AMA has gone beyond the 50 meters on each side, and that is why the people are angry. But the truth of the matter, the AMA has come out to apologize and to say that, look, the machinery and equipment they were using couldn't have maneuvered itself within the 50 meters they agreed upon. And that's why a lot more of the properties have to go. As I'm talking to you now, we just finished another round of negotiation and meeting with the AMA authorities, and we have agreed on certain things. For the purposes of your listeners, let me go through the things we agreed on. We agreed on 5 main issues. Tomorrow morning, we are going to continue with the meeting, which will involve all the traditional authorities there, all the chiefs or the leadership of the community there at the AMA with the AMA, and I will also be there. One, we're going to look at a clear demarcation and the scope of the work that AMA is going to do or will continue to do there, so that we all agree, all of us will agree on the scope. Then we go to the field and transfer or virtually make sure that whatever we agree upon is on the ground. 2, we're going to coordinate with National Security, NADMO, and immediately find shelter for those who have been displaced by the demolition exercise, and make sure especially pregnant women, lactating mothers, children, and all, we want to make sure that they have a place that is good enough to lay their head for the meantime. 3, we are going to also coordinate with National Security and try and get, a lot of them have expressed their own willingness that they want to go back home. So we're going to make sure that we provide them the sort of support that will enable them go safely back home. And then we are going to talk to the utility services. In fact, I have already made calls to the utility services to make sure they restore services to the area. This time it is risky to cut water services to the area because this is the time that the people, we are in the period of Ramadan and they need water for their ablutions. Apart from that, the women will need water to cook, to drink, and to also bath their children and they themselves. So it is not the right thing that we should cut water services to people at this moment in time.
Well, the Deputy Local Government Minister, Neelante van der Poel, has joined me over the telephone. Let's look at what happens today with the Old Fadama residents. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. I trust you're well too. Let's try and find an answer to the question. What happens to these residents today?
Well, as I'm talking to you now, we are in a meeting at the AMA with the management of the AMA, NADMO, National Security, the Civil Resident Association, the regional coordinator, so the Deputy Regional Minister is here, and I'm all here with the meeting. We, as a follow-up to the discussion we had with them yesterday on the 5-point resolutions which were agreed upon. One, on agreeing on the scope of work to be done by the AMA so that they will be in a position to advise those who fall within those areas to move out before the demolition. Two, on how to take care of the people who are affected as of now, especially the women and children.
Now, just before you go on, let's talk about the first one in moving people who are supposed to be affected. Now, I also get the bits where you talk about the AMA admitting that it had gone beyond the 50-meter limit. So who are those now supposed to go if it's gone beyond this limit?
Apparently, it is not even 50 meters. Apparently, the agreement was 100 meters on each side of the lagoon.
And the AMA went 300 meters. So we are talking about...
The AMA considered, the mayor considered that it's possible that they may go because the lagoon is not on a straight course. Sometimes it meanders depending on how the flow is. So in certain areas, because of the lagoon, you may have to come in. What they want to do is to dredge the lagoon, make sure that water has passage to the ocean. So where people have gone closer to the lagoon, they be affected more. And some people, the misunderstanding has to do with people, 100 meters, they were taking the 100 meters from the street. But the mayor is taking the 100 meters from the boundary of the lagoon.
In other words, what does this mean? The AMA was right, although it said earlier that it was going to give itself a 100-meter limit. The
issue has to do with this. The AMA's point is that if this is a lagoon, we are taking 100 meters from the boundaries of the lagoon, 100 meters from the boundaries of the lagoon. The people too had the impression that the 100 meters is going to be from the tip of the settlement. So the meeting we are having now is to agree on the scope and the parameters. So that when we have agreed on it, all of us will have known or agreed that these are the sort of modalities we are going to embark upon in order to achieve the objective. That PMA will not be unduly criticized, and the people too will have had an understanding to the scope of work of the AMA, so that there will not be any misunderstanding.
Then for the residents, the question of, okay, so how about those of us perhaps who shouldn't have been affected by the exercise? What happens to us?
Yeah, that is part of the discussion. That is part of the discussion we are having now. I want to make sure that those who did not expect to be affected, but who have been affected, not intentionally, we see how we can make sure we compensate them. Two, we've also agreed on now, after we are talking now, we have agreed on how to settle the women and children who are affected now. And then also we have agreed on how to organize for those who willingly want to go back, how we can get them back. We have agreed on those three. What we are left now is to finalize the arrangement with the utility providers to make sure they restore utility to the community as at today, because due to the demolition, electricity has been cut to the place, water has been cut.
Have they been restored now?
They are working on it. It doesn't take just some few hours to do those things. A lot of things have to be done because some of the pipes are broken, some of the electricity poles are broken.
Now, we've got information that this exercise is going to continue today.
Yes.
What time does it continue today?
Now, the AMA has decided to change the scope of the exercise for now until we reach a consensus on the discussion we are having now. What the AMA has decided to do is to start the exercise from the cleft area, so that by the time they will have concluded that one today, we will have agreed on the scope, we will have agreed on where it should go and what should be done next. And
okay, so in terms of finding shelter for the vulnerable group you mentioned, including pregnant women, lactating mothers and children, what alternatives do we have for them?
Well, we are still discussing. Various options have come to the floor. We are discussing them. We also, some of the discussion they brought was for the AMA to settle some of those people in tents just outside the perimeter of where the demolition has happened. But I am of the view that if we do that, we could be risking the life of those mothers and children because assuming it rains this evening, those people could be washed off. So I want us to be looking at something. If it is not a long term, even if it is temporary, it must be something that is sustainable.
And so what is government's alternative it is given?
We are still having a discussion. I will not be able to give you conclusive decisions on that. We are still discussing.
Finally, there's been a lot of
various options.
There's been a lot of talk that some funding many years back was provided to relocate these dwellers at Old Fadama. What does the local government ministry know about this funding and what's happened to it?
All these talk has happened since my day as an assembly member for that area. As far back as 1996, we're discussing this issue. It happened. The funding was there to force regime and NDC regime. There's a lot of talk. As I'm talking to you now, I can't divulge all issues. I have taken a oath of confidentiality and secrecy. But there have been a lot of discussions on finding a more sustainable and more lasting solution to this problem.
Well, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much. We've been speaking to Neil Vanderpoel, his Deputy Local Government Minister. Now, in subsequent broadcasts, we'll find out more on that question. Unfortunately, we had very little time to digest that question as to funding that was provided during the Kufuor administration to relocate these residents to a proper and more befitting area. Would look into that in subsequent broadcasts. You're watching Joy News Desk. There's more after this. Don't go away.